Is this Doomsday for the MCU? What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm talking about how Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars have been delayed. Variety dropped an article releasing this major news about the two upcoming Avengers movies, so I'm going to break it all down. But before I do, hit that like button, subscribe to that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. I mean, quite a bit. And be on the lookout for more videos coming very soon, including my coverage of the new Fear Street movie. So as you all know, Avengers Doomsday was initially set to release on May 1st, 2026, less than a year from right now, but filming had just recently started up, so it seemed like a stretch for it to actually hit that May 2026 release date. Myself and many others believed that that's just not possible, so it was probably inevitable that the movie was going to be delayed, and sure enough, here we are on May 22nd, 2025, and the movie has been delayed. So in the article from Variety, they announced that Avengers Doomsday is no longer releasing on May 1st, 2026, and it has instead been delayed to December 18th, 2026, about 7 months from its original release date. Now, with the delay of Doomsday, that also delayed Secret Wars. Avengers Secret Wars was set to release on May 7th, 2027, and that has now been delayed to December 17th, 2027. So both Avengers movies were going to kickstart the summer movie seasons for 2026 and 2027. Those are like the same weekends that Avengers Infinity War and Endgame came out, as well as Thunderbolts this year, Guardians 3 a couple years back. It's kind of a prime release for MCU movies historically, right? They usually blow up at the box office in a good way that weekend. Well, now they've moved into the holiday season, which is somewhat uncharted territory for these big-time MCU movies. I mean, the only one that comes to mind that's done that is Spider-Man No Way Home, and it paid off. That movie made almost $2 billion a year after the pandemic, and it didn't release in China. That's one of the biggest box office what-ifs of all time. If that released in a normal world, it might be the highest-grossing film ever made. Topic for another time. So, Doomsday and Secret Wars no longer dropping in May of 2026 and May of 2027. They're dropping in December of 26 and 27. That means they are going to be the big Christmas movies that families go out to see. I think it's genius because Disney probably looked at their big movies they've dropped in this release slate and said, you know what? Let's get back to that. They had a Star Wars movie make over $1 billion 4 times. 2015 was The Force Awakens. 2016, Rogue One did $1 billion. 2017, The Last Jedi made $1 billion in December. And 2019, Rise of Skywalker did $1 billion plus in December. So that's probably the move for them moving forward with Avengers movies. On top of that, they've got Avatar: The Way of Water in 2022, did $2 billion. And then they're going to have an Avatar movie this year, probably make $2 billion as well in December. So it seems like Disney and Marvel are going to assert themselves as the big holiday season draw. And it makes sense because the past few years, there hasn't been like a huge movie that you gotta go see on the big screen that time of year. So it's a smart move in my opinion. But aside from just moving the date, it's smart for the movie itself. They were apparently not even done writing the script when they started filming, and so take your time. I am more than okay with them delaying it because that means we're going to get the best possible product. Delay the movie, tweak the script as need be, and of course, this will give the movie ample time for VFX work in post-production because the Avengers movies are huge in scale. Tons of awesome VFX sequences happen. Huge battles, we assume, right? You're going to want those to look as best as can be, and I felt like they were rushing to get an Avengers movie out with that May 1st, 2026 release date for Doomsday, so this is probably a smart move for the story of the film, for the overall impact it'll have on the MCU, and for just the look of the movie. Nailing all that is very, very important, especially with the recent pressure surrounding the MCU and some flops they may or may not have had. So a lot of pressures on this movie. It's smart to take a step back, delay it 7 months, and make it as best as can be. Now, a juicy tidbit about this delay is that Doomsday is now coming out after Spider-Man Brand New Day. Spider-Man Brand New Day is the 4th MCU Spider-Man film featuring Tom Holland. It is slated to release at the end of July 2026. Well, initially, this was going to come out about 2 months after Avengers Doomsday. Now, it comes out months before. So to me, this signifies that Spider-Man is going to end up being in Avengers Doomsday. So the delay was intentional in that sense as well, in order to have a Spider-Man film before Doomsday and then create a story where Tom Holland's Spidey can be in the picture in a big-time Avengers movie. Now, how does this affect the overall MCU movie schedule? We still have the Fantastic Four First Steps dropping in July of this year. Then the next MCU movie on the lineup is Spider-Man Brand New Day in July of next year. Then it's Avengers Doomsday. So we only have 2 movies on the MCU calendar for 2026. And reading through the Variety article, it says that Marvel Studios has actually removed several unannounced Marvel titles off its calendar. The date of February 13th, 2026 was previously slotted for an untitled Marvel project, and that has been removed from the schedule. On top of that, the dates of November 6th, 2026 and November 5th, 2027 have both been amended to simply untitled Disney films. So that means there's no progress on a Shang-Chi 2 or a Black Panther 3, or at least Marvel's not willing to commit to a release date for those movies yet that we know are in the works. But most notably here, there's no Blade, and it seems like that movie is donezo. Maybe the line from Deadpool and Wolverine was more than just a simple joke. It was actually foreshadowing, hey, we're not making a Blade movie anymore in the MCU. There's only ever gonna be one Blade. So all that to say, we're going to have to wait a little longer for the next Avengers team up, but that's a-okay by me. We've got the Thunderbolts, aka the new Avengers now, and that post-credit scene teed up the Fantastic Four, but was also seemingly directed by the Russo brothers, so I have a prediction that'll probably just be a scene from Avengers Doomsday, which is cool. I love when Marvel Studios has those post-credit scenes that are just condensed scenes that are teasing upcoming projects. I think of Ant-Man having a post-credit scene that's like an abbreviated scene from Civil War. I love it when Marvel does that. It adds to the connectivity and feel of the overall cinematic universe, so it seems like we're headed back in that direction of the early phases, which I'm okay with. Should we be worried about these delays? I don't think so. This is for the best, in my opinion. Like I said earlier, it's going to allow for this movie to have tons of time to make it look the best it can with the VFX, but also let's get the best story we can. Don't rush this thing. We don't need an Avengers movie desperately. Like I said, we haven't even seen the Avengers team led by Sam Wilson on screen yet. So take your time, make this as best as it can be, and do it for the fans. That's all that matters at the end of the day, because these movies are important. There's a lot riding on them for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So these delays were inevitable. They were always going to probably happen, and I think it's for the best. Now, one final thing. Avengers Doomsday, releasing in December of 2026, puts it in a month filled with competition. Here's a list of some of the other major movie releases in December of 2026. As of right now, there could be even more added. Shrek 5, Ice Age 6, Jumanji 4, Robert Eggers' werewolf movie, and Dune Messiah. Now, of all those movies, I'm the most confident in Avengers Doomsday to light it up at the box office. Avengers equals $1 billion guaranteed, but I kind of feel bad for the other movies they're going to release around it, notably Dune Messiah. I know that Dune has its fans out there, and that's awesome, but Dune, it doesn't hold a candle to Avengers when it comes to the mass box office appeal, and I believe Dune Messiah has the same release date as Doomsday right now. I'd be willing to bet Warner Brothers is 100% going to push that movie that hasn't even started filming yet, probably into a March or summer 2027 release date, because honestly, Warner Bros. Has to adjust their calendar considering the Batman Part 2 as well. That movie's been delayed time and time again, so they'll probably push Dune a couple months, get it away from the Avengers movie, because no one is going to want to be competing directly with an Avengers film. That might just be movie box office suicide. So at the end of the day, these delays for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars were inevitable, but I'm glad they went ahead and got ahead of this and announced it now, because oftentimes Marvel and other major studios, all of them, will give us false hope with release dates. I'm thinking like Sony with the Spider-Verse films. We had like 30 release dates for X-Men, New Mutants, and Morbius, so just go ahead and get ahead of it now. I'd rather them, rip the band off and say, hey, we're delaying it 7 months, but it's for the better. So I learned to accept this, and honestly, this was inevitable. This was written on the wall from the moment they announced that May release date. It was just too soon. They were going to be rushing it. So this is for the best. It might feel annoying in the moment, but this is for the best in my opinion. But that does it for this update on the Avengers movies being delayed. What's your take on this? How do you feel about the delays? Are you worried about the movies? What are your predictions for the movies? Let me know in the comments down below, and hit that like button. Of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell, and be on the lookout for more videos coming very soon. But thank you guys, as always, for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.